Tohono O'odham Rez, Tohono O'odham Rez. Atama mare mare na wapa, atama mare mare na wapa rin. Tohono O'odham Rez, Tohono O'odham Rez. Atama mare mare.
Tapait Masma, Banchugik Marcelo Delgado, Man Amajuk Gut Oidak. How are you? My name is Marcela Delgado, and I am from the Big Fields Village. Our first story is from Little Tucson, where various musicians gathered with the family of the late Benny Martinez to celebrate his life with music, memories, and food. From Little Tucson, here is Tohono Communications reporter David Garcia.
Thank you. We are here at Little Tucson, and along with the Tohono O'odham Communications, Mr. Mel Ortega, we'd like to introduce Mr. Manuel here in regards to this fourth annual Mr. Martinez's death anniversary. So again, I'd like to get some information in terms of why and how long it's been since Mr. Martinez has passed away. And so with that, I'll turn it over to Mr. Manuel here. Thank you.
This is our fourth year memorial for Benny. He passed away in January 13th, 2004. We have been doing this, but not as big as this. We've had rosaries before. The first one we did do a dance for him, the first anniversary. Second one, I believe we just did a rosary, and the third one we didn't really do much because we're planning on this one. We're wanting the big one for the fourth one, which is important to O'odham. Because he's a musician, also, he's unique in that way, and in our O'odham hymn that we really respect the musicians that have passed on. So we wanted to do something big. So.
Ko pasra ke Mr. Manuel ia kamu je mas kama pi ju Benny Martinez mas ke je ma pa kama ko mas mo ia tai ko musiko ko mas hasi mas ma mo pi ni ke Benny Martinez mo wan ko san jum oi mo san jum to mo musiko je ana pias je in Tohono O'odham ke ni sa mahas ma je ke Fidelis Manuel ma papa je ke musiko apa je ja Mr. Manuel ma to sai tasho si tasho haum pias tai ma pe ke haum itom Benny Martinez matmui mani matmui ya tata kamach kam si hasuli to Mr. Martinez but matakak ya tata ma sai ha ka kamach kam ma pupi am just ma picture si am just smash Martinez Mr. Martinez watch.
Yeah, I'm not from Little Tucson. I'm originally from Gatka on the west side of the reservation. I met Benny in 1980, and soon after, his sisters, my wife now, back then he was my girlfriend, and I came and stayed with them, and that's when I really started to know Benny. And we just be sitting out here playing guitars, accordion. We started a band called the Desert Sons, probably in the early 90s. I want to say 1991, but I'm not too sure. But we started the band Desert Sons along with Philip McGill, Vernon Francisco, the late Sylvester Oliver Jr., and before that, the late Mark Asensio was playing with us, but the core was me, Benny, Philip, and Vernon, and Sylvester Oliver. That's who recorded the Desert Sons. We made 2 recordings from that band, and we really enjoyed playing for people, and Benny has been playing for a long time, so it was good that we got together.
I do know that I do remember that several years ago in the early 90s, as Mr. Manuel stated, he was his band was available to play for the every year up at San Javier for the Alcatan for that was held there at San Javier. So every year we would I believe it was 3 years in a row that we had gotten. At that time, it was known as Desert Sons, and I believe they had just won an award here at the rodeo.
Right.
And so we had hired his band to come out and play at the San Javier Alcatan in the early 90s. So a lot of people who are here are simply just trying to show their appreciation not only to Mr. Martinez, but as well as the family here, open it up to provide and have the musicians come in and pay some respects in regards to the musicians throughout the nation, as well as other individuals who are simply here to have enjoy themselves and,
Right.
and to provide, then also the family members provided a big meal. So again, Mr. Manuel, if there's something else which is very important in terms of the listening audience, what you would like to have the other people know who didn't know Mr. Martinez as well as yourself, how important it was as he lived his life throughout the nation and where he provided his music as well as off the reservation.
Right. Well, Mr. Martinez Benny was real generous. He's willing to help out. He never said no to anybody. Anybody that came to ask for help, he was there. He was there. He was willing to do it. He was willing to help out anybody, no matter who it was. The same with his music. He helped out groups, districts, villages, whatever. He donated his music, and in that way, through his music, he helped the people. I believe I've said this before with other people. One time he played with the veterans in the parade, and they won first place in the music category. And he was so proud of that, and he wasn't a veteran. They asked him to play with him, and that was pretty special to him. And he started playing accordion about 9 years old, and that was his specialty, was accordion. And although he did play saxophone off and on just a little, and he was beginning to really play the saxophone, he did record, I believe, 1 or 2 songs on our recordings, the Desert Sons, with the saxophone. But he didn't reach his potential because he had been ill for many years, and that's what finally, he couldn't do it anymore. He couldn't fight it anymore. So he left us. But we do this and we honor him, we respect him, and we remember him. And I want to thank everybody that's here, and I want to thank everybody that's helped us out to get to this point. And I believe people are enjoying themselves. I believe they're enjoying themselves. I want to thank all the bands that are coming, that have already played, and the bands that are coming to play. And when we started the Desert Sons, just to let, if nobody knows, but Benny was still playing with Cisco when we first started, and I still played with my band Tio Combo, and I still play with Tio Combo, but in between, me and Benny were playing everywhere.